Now, when it comes to TV lessons, we have to take note of this. TV lessons. A TV cannot be replayed immediately if a lesson detail is missed. Like I said earlier, if for example, um, a learner has to go to the restroom and then there's a TV lesson going on and he's in the restroom for like 5 or 10 minutes, and the TV lesson, let's say, is a mathematical equation, then when the learner comes back, the learner cannot follow. Okay? Now, another challenge with the TV is that there's only one TV, but there are many students of varied grade levels in the family. So, how will they schedule um, the TV broadcast, the TV lesson? That is a challenge. Now, what if there's only one TV and the other family members want to view their favorite program that they're watching? That's a problem. And then, of course, there's a background noise that prevents concentration in lesson when usually TVs are in the living room of houses, and the living room is where the people are most of the time uh, sitting or making noise. And then there's poor TV signal. Now, there are locations where a certain channel cannot play, um, cannot be viewed properly because of poor TV signal. And then the schedule of TV lesson must be strictly followed. Now, what if you have an appointment or you really have to go somewhere important like a doctor or anything? But anyway, I hope you get my point. And then, lastly, but note, some TVs have USB port to play stored video or audio. Now, we go to the challenges of audio lesson by radio. Of course, in an audio lesson, there is no visual of lesson. So let's take, for example, this presentation that I made. If I were just to go talk and talk and you cannot see what I am talking about, I can assure you that you will have a hard time understanding my point. And then, of course, again, what if the radio has a poor signal? You can try it out yourself by getting a radio tuner and then transferring it from one place to another, and you will find that there are places where radio signal is so poor you hardly hear what is being said. And again, like in the TV, a radio lesson cannot be replayed immediately if a lesson detail is missed. And lessons that can be taught by audio or radio are limited. I doubt if mathematical equations can be taught using audio. Maybe English language or history or even economics can be taught by audio. I'm not sure about it. And then the challenges of printed lessons. Number one, students with poor comprehension cannot cope. And then the presentation of lesson ideas is limited. Now, there are possible answers to challenges in distributing stored video lessons. Please remember that the heart of this presentation is about stored video lessons, and I have explained earlier what are the advantages of video lessons. Now, how do we distribute them to the learners? Maybe by labeled SD or USB card, distributed by barangay centers, or sent to the student residences. SD or USB cards are very cheap nowadays. Now, video lessons may also be stored in computers set up in barangay centers to be copied by students by USB or internetless Wi-Fi. Internetless Wi-Fi, I'm going to explain it later. The stored video lessons can also be copied by SD or USB or in Wi-Fi in computer kiosks. Again, these Wi-Fi computer kiosks do not have internet. They don't need internet to transfer data or to transfer learning materials from one computer, from a main computer or a laptop, to the learner's gadgets like smartphones or tablets. Now, we go on to how are video lessons going to be created or developed. I think this will be the biggest challenge of all, because there will be so much video lesson that needs to be created or developed. Of course, the teachers, they could develop the video lessons because they are the one teaching that subject. And maybe we could appeal to private citizens to develop video lessons. I'm sure there are many even students or other people, non-teachers, who would really like to help in educating our children, and I'm sure a lot would like to do their part if we would only appeal to them, ask for their help and assistance. I think we would be able to develop a lot more videos that will be helpful. Now, we could also entice civic conscious persons or group to take part in nation building by submitting video lessons that of course should follow the K-12 curriculum. Now, submitted video lessons will be deemed donated and will be for free public use after it is reviewed and approved by subject matter experts and DepEd. Of course, DepEd has to approve a video to make sure that the topic being taught is correct and free from mistakes and flaws. Now, all these video lessons after they have been made, like in YouTube, are then stored and may then be used even after COVID-19 and will help upgrade the educational system and could even be sent and reach the farthest areas here in our country. Now, maybe right now you are seeing why earlier it was said, I said that this is actually an opportunity because of this part. Because after the video lessons have been made, then they will be there, they will be here forever with us to help us even after COVID pandemic, even after the COVID problem. Now, this is just an idea on the visual lesson development and distribution. This is no way a suggestion. Okay, you may or may not pick ideas from here. It's up to you. Of course, the video lessons have the K-12 curriculum guided, and maybe we could prioritize subjects, uh, especially those that need visual details and are difficult to understand with audio and just printed materials. And these are math, science, and technology. Because if our resources are so limited, we can only develop for particular subjects, then math could possibly be the subject that we could prioritize, because math is a subject that is difficult to grasp, difficult to teach, difficult to understand. But with the right persons and the resources that we have right now, it can be done. And again, let me just uh, reiterate that even after COVID, even after this setup that we have right now, once the videos are made, they are there forever, and anybody can just access it, and it will be free education. It will really improve the educational system of our country that we have been so waiting for so long. Now, other videos that could be made are the science lab videos in place of actual experiments, because I think that laboratory experiments, you can learn even by watching what will happen. You don't have to do it by yourself, especially right now with the pandemic. That I think it is impossible, but it's still possible to see the result of an experiments with lab videos. And then these videos may be developed by concerned persons and preferably in MP4 format. Now, after these video lessons have been developed and of course approved by DepEd or approving persons in authority, then we could transfer them to the internet, like in YouTube, or maybe DepEd laptop, tablet, or anybody's smartphone, and then desktop, and then servers. And it could be accessed by learners very easily. They could also be saved in SD card, USB card, or hard drive. Now, after they have been stored in these gadgets or devices, we could get them now to learners. Of course, many will ask, how will learners without internet be able to access this video lessons, or even other learning materials? Okay, let's start with what they should have. Of course, they could learners could view this using tablets, smartphones. Now, let me just discuss or mention MP4 and MP5 players, media players, laptop, desktop, and other devices. Now, these video lessons and other learning materials may be sent to remotest areas with no power or internet, but use solar or batteries. It will be explained as we go on this part. Now, let me just explain what MP5, MP4 players are. MP5 and MP4 players are simply media players. They cost the least, they consume little power, they play video and audio, but they do not have Wi-Fi, and you cannot use it as a phone. Although some may have FM, and they are so, let's say, cheap that they could be donated by kindly persons. Maybe MP4 and MP5 players cost around 1,000, 1,200, which is cheaper than most smartphones or tablets. Although MP4 and MP5 players, again, which can play video, they can play the video lessons, okay, are quite small. So maybe it's as small as the screen only. So we have to take note of